Welcome back to your newest favorite podcast, Beards and Bitcoins, where BitBoy and JChains get together each week to talk about crypto and things happening in the community. They will bring you some special guests and giveaways, so make sure you're subscribed. For all show-related news, you can find the guys on various social media outlets. Everything is listed on the official show Twitter account, @BeardsBitcoins. Now, without further introduction, two dudes that have beards, like Bitcoins, and want to talk to you about both, BitBoy and JChains.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 37 of your favorite podcast, Beards and Bitcoins. I am your co-host, BitBoy. This is your other co-host, JChains. What is going on, Jay?
What is up? What is up? Hope you guys are doing well. How's your week been, dog?
It's been good, man. It's been busy. I've been real busy. You guys know I do my little football helmet thing. So I was out doing a lot of shipping 50 helmets out today. That's a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, we kill it. So
you've upped it.
Oh, we've upped it big time. Yeah, we're killing it. So speaking of people who are killing it, today we got a special guest on the podcast. We got our boy Kenn Bosak, a.k.a. KennETH Bosak. What's going on, Ken? How are you doing, man?
How goes it, my bearded bros?
Ooh.
Love it when we get somebody with a beard on the show. I mean, we'll take some other folks, but there's something about having the bearded folks on that really just feels like we're doing it right, So
what's the solidarity when we eat soup? We all know each other's pain.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly right, dude. Even like drinking water, like I got my Flow water bottle. You know what I mean? I drink that thing and the water drips down. It's just like all over me.
Tell me you've never sipped on something, felt a whisker, and checked your drink to make sure nothing was in it. It was you.
Oh.
You are in it. It's your whisker.
Yeah, the longer it gets, the more whiskers you get, and they just find their way into like the weirdest places.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever complain about finding hair on food in a restaurant because I'd be too embarrassed for it to be my own at this point.
Well, I'm dedicated to growing my beard out. I have decided I'm growing my beard out, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. I think I talked with...
I use oils. I highly recommend oils. I use oils all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was talking to one of the guys from Coin Lotto. His wife is a barber. I've never met a female barber before, and she was telling me that my problem is I need to maybe bring it down a little more and bring it over because I got a little splotch right here or whatever. So it's really inspired me. I think I'm going to try that. I got to get a new set, and I think we're trying to work on getting some beard sponsors on the show. Isn't that right, JChains?
I mean, it would only make sense. I mean, it is half
sense.
The name of the show. So
yeah, well, I use an independent beard balm that sells on Etsy, so maybe I could help put that together for you.
There you go. I mean, we need some balm. We need it balmy up in here. You know what I mean?
But Ken's right though. You got to take care of the beard. Once it gets a little bit longer, you got to be. Yeah, my wife got me some oils. I use that every day, and it's night and day difference if you don't use it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, even after a 5 o'clock shadow, oil goes a long way on like the itch and everything too. Yeah.
God, could you guys imagine if me or JChains had to shave our beard for something? We would literally have to quit the podcast.
So what's the over-under bet? Bitcoin's going to be 20K by the end of when, and who's going to shave if not? Let's make this happen.
You want to know something though? Last year, I really considered probably around June, July. I really considered doing a thing where I was going to say, I'm not going to shave my beard until it hits 20K. And man, I sure am glad I didn't do that because, dude, it'd be looking like Rip Van Winkle over here right now. Dude, I'd be down to my knees. You know what I mean?
I shave every once in a while, but it does not take long for me to get to this point. Luckily, I've been blessed. I'm the only person in my family as a man who can grow a beard like this. Like there might be like a bearded woman somewhere in the family gene pool that we don't know about, but all the guys in my family can't grow beards.
I hear that.
It's a shame, man.
My little brother, he's been on the show and you saw him, man. He's clean faced. Well, he can grow some scruff, but same thing, man. He can't grow a beard. I got it all.
Oh yeah, you got that nice beard, dude. I like that, dude. I could grow a goatee pretty early on, but it definitely took me till I was in my early 20s to be able to grow the beard out or whatever. I grew it on accident the first time, so I just quit shaving. But if I shave it off completely, which it's been 13 years since I shaved all my facial hair completely. I could grow the beard back in about 2 weeks. Pretty good, not just splotchy. Grow it out in 2 weeks, but
it's actually pretty healthy. I don't know if that's pseudoscience or whatever, but I heard it's pretty healthy to go clean shaving every once in a while to help get the replenish the follicles and get your hair to grow a little thicker. But I don't know. I think my beard comes in because I shaved religiously like freshman year. I started to get a little bit of peach fuzz, and I was like super turned off by like the patches of peach fuzz and stuff. And I shaved like every day since freshman year throughout high school. And I don't know if that helped or whatever, but I got this. This is a beautiful little outcome of that, I think.
We have pretty similar beard. I mean, mine's red and yours is red. That's where the similarity ends. It's not very similar. I'm looking at yours. Yours is like looking thick, and mine's looking pretty thin. But
and your hair on your head isn't red, right? You're not redheaded.
Right. No. It's salt and pepper these days.
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, but you're not a natural redhead under the salt and pepper, right?
What's that?
You weren't a redhead before the salt and pepper, right?
No, never. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what we have in common as well. Is I'm a natural, like I have like brown hair, but I have this bright red beard and it doesn't match. And my whole life, people ask me if I dyed my beard red.
Yeah, it's crazy. I read something about it maybe last year. Somebody shared it on like Facebook or something when I was still on Facebook. And I don't know, it's some kind of like really rare, like 1 out of 20 people will have it or whatever. So there's some science behind it, though. Not just bro science. There is some science behind why we have red.
You're like a half ginger.
Yeah, so, dude,
it's like half a soul.
I'm a ginger.
Hey, half a soul is better than no soul. I'll give you that.
No, it's a ginger with a soul, dude. I got a full soul. So, man, this is not what we were going to talk about at all. This is really incredible. I love when this happens when we sit here before the podcast. We're like, well, let's talk about this. And then we spend 15 minutes talking about the most random thing, which is our beards. That's really nice. So let's move on actually right now to our Monarch Token.io crypto Twitter shout out. This is sponsored by Monarch Token.io. You guys can find the Monarch wallet on the iOS App Store and the Android App Store. They're continuing to make big moves. They've had all kinds of big partnerships lately. And, I think we need to announce all the winners of our contest. Is that right? Also?
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do that
when we do this post.
Yeah, when you see this app go live, there'll be a post that follows that announces all the winners. So
it'll be on YouTube. Yeah, it's all from the YouTube video page. So if you guys commented on our YouTube video from a couple weeks ago and we had Beatles from Monarch on, then you guys will be eligible for that prize. So okay, let's move on to our crypto Twitter shout outs. I'm gonna go first today. I don't usually go first. Maybe I do. I have no idea. But this time I got a special crypto Twitter shout out, and I know JChains is gonna love it. I'm gonna shout out the city of Austin, Texas, which is where your boy JChains lives. This is at Austin, Texas Gov. Why are you not why are you mad about me shouting out Austin?
Because I got a warrant for my arrest in Austin, Texas.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we won't talk about that today.
I couldn't go to the Bitcoin Ben meetup. Oh, that's why the sad
that's
face.
right.
Oh man, that sucks. We were there. We were there for you. It rained, so at least you didn't get mud on your shoes. But the reason
I wish I could have went though, for real, man. Texas is beautiful, man. It sucks I can never go back.
Yeah, that's where me and Crypto finally buried the hatchet. I got to shoot her.
Yeah, I saw on a giant gun
on a video. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the city of Austin, the reason why I'm shouting it out is because recently they have now partnered with IOTA. So IOTA is a cryptocurrency. It's in the top 15. I think it's around 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. And it is all about mobility. That's one of the things it focuses on. It focuses on the Internet of Things. If you don't know what that is basically connectivity between any kind of device that can have an internet connection, like an Alexa or a phone or even your thermostat at home, anything like that. Now, IOTA also recently partnered with Jaguar and Land Rover, and basically Jaguar and Land Rover, something they're trying to do is they want to get emissions, congestion, and accidents down to zero on the road. And so it was a really cool story. IOTA pumped really hard off of it. And then right after that, IOTA partnered with the city of Austin, Texas. It's actually pretty similar what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to use people's vehicles on the IOTA network to be able to help with, showing people back roads, kind of like a Waze app. If you guys know the Waze app, shows you shortcuts, how to avoid traffic and stuff like that. So the city of Austin is trying to decrease their congestion by using IOTA. And I thought it was pretty cool. It's a story that didn't get a lot of press, but the Jaguar and the Land Rover one did. So want to shout out Austin, Texas. Hey, you guys lift that ban on Kenn. We're tired of it.
Yeah, I want to come back.
Yeah.
Hey, that's really cool. It's cool to hear the hometown making some ripples or a splash. I don't want to use that word.
Don't you say ripples?
Take it back. I didn't hear that, and I live here. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. I always thought of IOTA as like something that would probably be used for like, apartment complexes that have like shared Internet of Things, like one of those little robots that clean your floor. Like you can rent that to clean your floor and like everybody pays or whatever. I don't know. I saw it for like really cool things when I first saw about it. I was like, it's nice to see them partnering with legit stuff now and actually coming through. But technically, just for the record, it's not a blockchain. It's not blockchain. It's technically their own little coin term of a tangled network. Yeah. But I'm definitely interested in these partnerships to see where they go.
Yeah, I've actually like killed IOTA on my channel a good bit over the last year because I don't. I think there's a lot of stuff to kill about it, but at the end of the day, if they're making these real life partnerships with legit, like Jaguar and Land Rover had it on their website, not like a Justin Sun partnership, where kind of one sided. It definitely
took a Jaguar Uber and partnered with Jaguar. That's how Tron does it.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so it's good to see IOTA actually making these big moves. Now, how is all of it actually going to work? And how are these IOTA blockchain wallets inside of these vehicles going to actually
technically not blockchain?
Right. Well, yeah, you're right. Crypto wallets, these IOTA crypto wallets that are, on these cars, like, are they actually going to work? I don't know. The tangle to me is like way too confusing and it's like way too complicated to actually work, but if they can pull it off, it's great. But I agree with you kind of like, when you're talking about anything that's not blockchain, like, Holochain is not blockchain.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot of these projects that are not blockchain. To me, that we're already kind of having to move on from blockchain to the next thing is pretty concerning. So I would rather blockchain projects succeed, honestly. But at the same time, if it helps congestion and helps accidents and all that, then, it's good. So it's good to see IOTA making some big legit moves. So who you got this week, JChains, for your crypto Monarch Token.io crypto Twitter shout out?
For my crypto shout out, I'm going to shout out one of the homies, one of our fellow Satoshi droppers, Christopher Crypto. On Twitter, you can get him at the Crypto Kid 5. Like I said, he's one of the homies. He's been on the show. He's no stranger to the beards and bitcoins. But as of just the other day, I know his wife was going into labor. So quick shout out to him, man. Congratulations. Hope that all the best to the addition of your new family, brother.
All that forking paid off. Now raise that shitcoin to be a proper little blockchain when he grows up.
There you go.
Don't let him get all tangled up.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. So yeah, that's just one for the buddies. So what about you, Kenn? Who you want to shout out this week?
I want to shout out my new crypto love, Crypto Finally, Rachel, and congratulate her on winning her 3 awards from the Crypto Investment Awards. Well deserved. And she got like hidden gem and stuff like that. And yeah, she's definitely a hidden gem in this space for sure. I can't believe that her engagement is so off the records compared to like, subscribers and follow rate. It's pretty impressive, but it's the quality of the content too. And I know BitBoy and Finally had some beef recently, but they squashed it, and that was pretty entertaining all on its own. Like, that's just her style. Even when squashing beef, she turns it into some epic content. So just shout out to Crypto Finally, and I think more people should check out the content and check out the videos. And I'm looking forward to being an extra in one of them in New York coming up soon.
There you go. Yeah, she had mentioned that she's got a new one coming up that she's, I think, probably going to shoot around the time of consensus or release it.
Yeah. As far as I can tell you, I was like, hey, can I help out? And she was like, look, Kenn, I'll be honest with you, and this is all I'm going to really say, guys, is we're probably going to get arrested. I was like, okay, I'm totally in. Let's do this. So I'm going to hopefully help her out with that video and hopefully not get arrested. But damn, am I interested in her ideas now.
There you go. I mean, that's cute. I mean, what was it the other day? You've got our buddy on crypto Twitter, Gator. I mean, he's trying to like match you guys up for romance.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he wants to like vicariously get married to her through me.
I feel like you're right. I feel like you're 100% right on that. What's so funny is when he did this. Gator did this. God, that's like one guy on Twitter that like everybody has strong feelings about, not for, but about. But Gator made this little meme, and this is before me and Crypto finally like kind of squashed our beef or whatever a couple weeks ago. He made this meme that was him getting married to Crypto finally, and he put my face on the best man, and he had no idea. You know, like he had no idea about the history between me and her. And like I saw that and I just started dying laughing. Like people were making comments and laughing at it. And like he didn't even understand. He had no idea because he didn't even come to crypto Twitter. You know, that would have been back in December when all that stuff went down.
That makes it even funnier though.
Oh, it was so funny. I was dying when I saw. I was like, he does not understand the history behind this.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
But yeah, the first time you talked to her was actually
yeah, I was like, yo, what the hell is going on, man? You got to squash this beef, girl. Like, what's up?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what you said, but it wasn't that.
No, it was. I definitely was a little bit more upset, but it was like bullshit. You know what I mean?
It was. Yeah,
I had to make sure that I acknowledged it, and you know, it's.
Well, I appreciated the support back then, and you know, everything's worked out for the best.
Yeah, but that's the thing about this, right? We're a crypto family. We fight, we get over it, and we'll fight again, and we'll get over it again.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
That's true, man.
I've always thought the same thing, and you know, we've had this conversation with other people before about competition, right? Where there, you know, you may have like a group of people that are in the same kind of space, whether you're a podcaster or whatever. And like, yeah, there are some people that look out for each other, and then there's some people that are in it for a different reason and would say that there's a lot of competition. I don't see that. Like, maybe I refuse to see it. I think, you know, Ken, what you said, like, you know, we're a family. Like, we're starting this up. Like, let's all just get along and like figure it out together versus kind of having any beef.
Oh yeah, like it or not, we're stuck in this crypto family right now. You know, it's you know, either Twitter or Facebook or whatever. Go ahead and do something. We're all gonna hear the rumors, like family. You know, it's nothing. You can't get away from it. And you know, if somebody does something that somebody doesn't like, or you're probably gonna hear about it. And we all have like those people in the community that represent, you know, like those family members. Like what, you know. John McAfee's like the uncle you wouldn't let your kids go near when no one's around, you know, like you got Pomp, who's kind of like the stepdad who came in and saved the whole family, you know, like just pulled a hat trick out. And what Crypto Wendio, you know, that she's like the Mary Poppins, like, you know, the nanny of all of us. You know, she helps keep a lot of us, you know, me myself included, out of dumb stuff when I'm in town at her meetups in LA and Vegas and stuff. So I don't know, man. It feels like we're all just building up to this, you know, tighter community outside of, you know, just crypto even. Like, look, we're getting people from like the MMA to, you know, pop in. Mainstream rappers, like it or not, Soldier Boys even joined the family. Like, it is what it is. And what? PewDiePie just joined D-Live. He's now in crypto, like it or not. Like, you know, and I don't know how people feel about it, but I think it's really cool to see these legacy content creators finally recognizing decentralized platforms.
Well, we're seeing it everywhere. You know, were you gonna say something, JChains?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, you know, it's just a great thing to see, and like them or not, or you know, wherever they come from. And like a guy like PewDiePie, I mean, his audience, his reach is huge.
Yeah, #1 content creator on YouTube, single-handedly. You know, like, yeah, okay, let's do this. But I would like to see him more diversified or whatever, or decentralized, and be like on Steam, BitTube, DLive, DTube, you know, all those, not just one platform that probably paid him a bunch of shit coins to like promote. But it is what it is. Hopefully it inspires them to look into other things and even use multiple decentralized platforms, because the point of decentralization isn't to have a monopoly on decentralization.
Yeah. Well, you know, and by the way, guys, I've been like sternly reprimanded for saying PewDiePie. It is PewDiePie. Like PewDiePie, but PewDiePie.
Yeah, I'm not saying
I've been reprimanded by Andy. Andy from the Coin Boys. He was like real adamant that I never say PewDiePie again. But anyways, and when you have as much money as somebody like PewDiePie, you can actually hire somebody to upload your content to all of these decentralized platforms. Because for most of us, like, we just don't really have like, I don't have time to upload my content on like 19 different platforms when on a lot of them my video is going to get 2 views there. You know, like, unfortunately, like, I just don't have the time. Like, if you look at something like, you know, DTube, it's a mess trying to upload.
Oh, it is, though.
there. So, yeah.
Oh,
So
it really is.
Yeah.
But it's like the early adopter advantage, right? Like YouTube used to be a nightmare, and people that early adopted, like PewDiePie, look what they have gotten from it, right? Like they had to deal with all those bugs, and they didn't start out with more than 0 subscribers, you know. But I think that what we should do, I think, as content creators for crypto is maybe put 10% of that content on YouTube, and then move and network and try to funnel the rest of that to the 90% we put on decentralized, like Steemit or BitTube. Like put a commercial or an advertisement or a clip or a teaser on YouTube and say, hey, links in the description box below to watch the rest. And it doesn't matter if it's to go to YouTube to watch the rest or to BitTube or to Steemit to watch the rest. I really think that might be like somewhat of a key that we could all try to use. But I use Restream.io, and whenever I do my live streams or podcasts, I'm on 7 networks at once.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I think that's good. You know, I do think we do need to look at the problem for me is like trying to figure out, like I said, it's just like an equation of which one of these decentralized platforms do I feel like is going to be the most worth my time.
Hey, right now it's a good time to submit proposals. Maybe you could get a bunch of shitcoins to use their network and promote them, you know, as a content creator.
I'm putting together a media kit right now, and it is freaking sharp. Y'all watch out for that media kit. I had some professional headshots done. Whew, let me tell you.
I got a sneak peek on those. I got to tell you.
Yo,
oof.
So good. I got 39 different images, and I had to go cut them out of the pictures. I got 39 different images for my thumbnails, so I never have to take a freaking selfie again for my thumbnails, and they're all super professional pictures. So big shout out to Poppy LaRue, who is my photographer. She's been our family photographer for a while. But I want to go back real quick. We got kind of in the weeds there. I want to go back to talking about, you know, crypto as a family. And, you know, one thing that happened this week that I thought was really, really interesting, 2 things. Number one, Elon Musk, the thing with Ethereum where he posted Ethereum and then just kidding. And then Vitalik responded and then he said, stop giving away free ETH. Yeah, it was hilarious. But Elon Musk is really starting to kind of venture into crypto, I think, because of all the regulations on him, not being able to tweet about securities and Tesla and different stuff. Crypto feels like a natural fit for him to still continue to have fun. But the clip that I saw this week that was super interesting was Joe Rogan talking about Bitcoin. And he said, those Bitcoin people, they're fanatics. If you say something bad about Bitcoin, they're going to be on you. And he says, not just Bitcoin, it's all these other crypto coins too. And I had this tweet I thought it was really funny. I retweeted the clip and I just said, he has visited our lands, you know, and it's funny to think that like, that's us, you know, we are a crypto family. And when you talk bad about Bitcoin or you talk bad about crypto in general, then we're going to find you, you know, we're definitely going to say something about it. We're not a community that takes that stuff laying down because we're all so passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's awesome. You know, I think Joe Rogan and he accepted Bitcoin donations a few years ago when he had Andreas Antonopoulos on the show. He opened up a Bitcoin donation. He matched the Bitcoin donations that came in. So 1-to-1 match. And he said it was like a lie. He was like, wow, I did not expect that. So like, I ain't going to do that again, which was really cool. And yeah, I think it's inevitably going to go that route, right? Like, you know, with the mainstream, like, he doesn't even invest or anything. He's just talking about, like, Elon Musk probably invests, right? And then he's talking about it. But Joe Rogan
says he only has a quarter Bitcoin. That's what he claims. He says he's only got 1/4 of a Bitcoin.
Really?
Who?
Elon Musk. Yeah. He says he has 1/4.
Steve Wozniak told me he only owns 1 Bitcoin. When I met him,
he sold all his.
No, he said he had 1. I mean, maybe this was after I talked to him, but I actually met him in person in his face. And he was like, I only own 1 Bitcoin. And I was like, this is why you don't have any Apple stocks. You're an idiot. Go away. Like,
yeah. Well, he said he's only interested in Bitcoin for the tech. This is Woz. Yeah. You know, he said he's only interested in for the tech. And so in the past, he's had some transactions with different Bitcoin. You know, he's bought and sold Bitcoins, whatever. But it was really just to kind of see the fundamentals of how the transactions work. Like
Did you see Elon Musk on April Fool's was the CEO of Doge for a full day? That was fun.
Yeah, he left Dogecoin and now he's with Ethereum now. So.
Yeah, I have a feeling he may move on and hopefully tell us all he's Satoshi and see what happens when Craig Wright sues him. It's like the ball he's rolling on, right? I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. Elon Musk is going to say, I am Satoshi Nakamoto. Craig Wright's going to sue him, and it's going to be hilarious.
That whole situation is so crazy. I mean, that has just been
really
nuts.
is. It really is. But hey, hopefully, I mean, he's suing Peter McCormick. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's settle this in court because you cannot prove that you are Satoshi, and we can prove that you are not because you can't prove that you are. Lack of proof isn't proof. It's evidence.
I think we talked about this on the podcast last week, maybe. Where I was saying, like, I just imagine like this full, like it's very similar to the O.J. Simpson trial. Like, you got all these drawings of, you know, of Peter
the private
McCormick
keys
trial.
Don't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, I think it'd be so funny. You know,
He just did some. I forget who the guy was. He, but Craig Wright just did some interview, right, with some guy. They were at his office. And he just went on a whole rant the whole time about all sorts of weird stuff. Did you guys happen to see that interview?
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that clip.
His sister follows me on Twitter. I thought that was cool.
I try not to talk about him if I can help it anymore. Like, I don't promote him on my channel because really, like, you know, the main thing those guys are looking for is publicity. And when you talk about them, like, you're really just giving them exactly what they want. And so for me personally, like on my channel and stuff and on Twitter, like I've really decided like I'm not talking about them anymore. I made one really long video about the history of Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, you know, Roger Ver and also Craig Wright, how they came into crypto and things like that. So, you know, it's a very interesting video. So I made that one video and that's it. I'm not talking about them anymore. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's good to not forget your past just because we don't like it. A lot of noobs are going to come in and they're not going to know what's up. And it's good to remind people that Roger Ver once chanted, "We are all Craig Wright." You know what I mean? Like
I use that as an intro in a video.
Yeah, so it's good to remember, you know, people like Eric Voorhees were supporting, you know, Bitcoin Cash at first and things like that. And now Shapeshifts has, you know, mandatory KYC, and like it used to not be, especially with the BitLicense in New York, like local Bitcoins used to be real and now they're KYC. It's like, just, we need to talk more about the things that we don't like in the space as we move forward and not sweep them under the rug. Unfortunately, it sucks. And I'm with you. But I think if we start to like boogeyman these people, when people run into them, they're more likely to believe the craziness that, yeah, I'm Satoshi than not.
Well, I hear you on that, and I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like, this is an argument that people, like, I had a lot of people when I made this tweet, like, I had a really popular tweet that was basically about that. Like, let's not give them any coverage, you know, whatever. I think it was like, I think it had like 1,000 likes or 800 retweets. It had a ton of engagement on it. And people really kind of like that idea. But the one kind of pushback I got was, oh, well, but we still need to educate new people that come into the space. Bitcoin SV is totally irrelevant to new people that come into the space. Nobody knows what Bitcoin SV is.
No, but it's relevant to BCH, and BCH is relevant to BTC. So that's why it's relevant.
And I agree with you on that. Like, the one thing about Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV that I feel like does definitely need to be talked about more is the fact that if you go on Bitcoin.com and buy some Bitcoin, you're really buying Bitcoin Cash. That is the one thing that new people in the space really need to be educated on.
There was a class action lawsuit, but they swept it under the rug right before Consensus last year. Because when I was at Consensus last year, I asked them about the class action lawsuit, and nobody wanted to talk to me about it. And it kind of, you know, got a lot of attention. Roger Ver wrote an article about me harassing the Bitcoin booth, calling them a scam when they are a scam, because that's why they're in a class action lawsuit for scamming people. But anyway, he pinned it on our Twitter Bitcoin or whatever for like 2 weeks. So like everybody was like, "Oh, you're a scammer," but I'm like, "No, they are." What happened? I had to read the article. It was weird. Really weird.
Definitely strange occurrences all the way around. You know, when it comes to that handle.
Are you going to Consensus this year?
I am not. Yeah, I'm not going to Consensus this year. I've got, we were talking about the beginning of the show. I got a little football helmet business I run, and Tuesday nights is the night that we kind of do our thing. And so, like, it's right in the middle of Consensus, and I've already got, you know, we're going to Disney World later in the year and stuff like that. So I got like a couple of times I'm going to have to miss. I just kind of had to say, you know what? I'm just going to have to skip this one. I got the Bit Bus in June.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I'll see you guys there for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're on the
Yeah.
Bit Bus with us, right?
Yeah, I just booked my flight.
Nice.
So
did Jack.
I still got to get my flight, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't book flights till last minute. That's just how I roll.
I use crypto to book my flights. Cheapair.com.
That's it's one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about, because that's something you've been pretty public about, is that you're able to do a lot of the things that you do, your travel, adventures, all that. You're strictly on crypto, right? You're off fiat.
Yeah, I'm 100% all in on crypto. I don't hold fiat, but I do use it when I have to, but as little as humanly possible do I try to like have any left over in my wallet, my physical wallet, no pun intended wallet. But yeah, my net worth, my savings, my checking, so to speak, my spending, it's all cryptocurrency. So if I wanted to like get Uber or Netflix or whatever, I figure out how to use crypto to do all that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you using Cheapo Air for they're taking crypto,
No, not
right?
cheapo, just cheap air.
Cheap Air. Oh.
Yeah, cheap air, and that's for flights, hotels, and renting cars. So if you wanted to do like the whole like rent a car, get a hotel room, and get a flight all in one place with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, you could use cheap air. If you shop on Amazon, if you wanted to buy a new microphone or a webcam, you could save up to 30%, and you could go to purse.io. All you do is go on Amazon, find the thing you want, create a wish list. You take the wish list sharing address, search for it when you go to purse.io in their web address bar, and then you could set that percentage, like 30% discount. You pay with Bitcoin. Somebody's going to buy you that with their Amazon gift card, but basically they're just buying your Bitcoin and selling their Amazon gift card for that Bitcoin, and you can get your item in exchange in the middle. I use BitRefill for gift cards, things like Netflix, Tinder, Uber Eats, all the things that Uber Chill and Netflix all come together. And I even use switch.ag for gift cards. And sometimes I use switch.ag actually for donating to charities. So like every once in a while, if I'm playing a blockchain game and I win money, I'll take like 10%, 20% of my winnings, and I'll just donate it to a charity through that switch.ag. Cool. So there's like tons of different things that I use to use crypto, but that's just a few.
Have you heard of the Life app?
No.
That guy, it was the guy that talked to us at the Ben thing, right?
Well, he talked to you.
Oh, screw you. He talked to a bunch of
you. I turned around. Anyways, give us the rundown of what that is, JChains.
So it's a
surely after that talk.
Oh man.
So I wasn't the only one that had to listen to the pitch, but so basically it's to the effect of you pretty much are buying gift cards from them online right there that you can then redeem almost at that same point of transaction. So you're literally just buying a gift card and then spending that gift card all in one shot. And they've got, I want to say, like 300, like Home Depot. I mean, you name it. Like they're all on
that's BitRefill and Switch.ag and CoinCards.ca. I could name tons of places. It's getting more common actually, which is really cool. I remember when I think CoinDesk and Cointelegraph wrote an article like, "Oh, you can buy coffee at Starbucks with Bitcoin." I'm like, "No, you can't," but yes, you can. You're wrong and right and way late to the article anyway. It was so misinformation. It was ridiculous. But my first YouTube video, which is really cool because not my first YouTube video, but like my first like how to whatever video was actually sponsored because nobody was making videos on crypto in 2016. So this company, ipayu.io, reached out to me and said, "Hey, we'll give you some crypto if you'll make a video on how to use it to buy Starbucks gift cards." And I'm like, wait, I can buy coffee with this stuff? I thought it was just for drugs on the deep web. This is so much more practical. So I actually did a video on how easy it was. And it's like you said, it's like 2 steps: send Bitcoin, get gift card, open Starbucks app, type in promo code, buy coffee. And people act like using crypto is so far-fetched other than speculating to make more fiat, which I think is the more ridiculous use case of Bitcoin, is to speculate on its value to earn more fiat off of Bitcoin. It's hypocritical and ridiculous.
Well, I think it just comes down to, is it practical to spend? You know what I mean? Like you talk about that, like the process you have to go through, to spend it at Starbucks, it's not as simple as just, you walk up and you pay for it. Like there's a process you have to go through. And I think once it gets to a point where, that is easier, then, I think
I don't think Starbucks needs to accept Bitcoin at the register. The same reason they don't have to accept Euro at the register. There's a process you can take your Euro to, and then you can get Starbucks. Same thing I do with my Bitcoin. I just feel like I'm a foreign traveler everywhere I go. And I use the same processes a lot of travelers use when they're dealing with foreign currencies in new environments. And I think that's why I see like that importance that Starbucks doesn't need to accept Bitcoin up front. It will have the gift cards or companies that accept Bitcoin for those gift cards or tons of different ways to actually accept Bitcoin. But I don't think they're going to have to at the register. And if they do, it's a long time from now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we can find a way to, to totally decentralize banks, or at least, I mean, even what is Apple? They've come out with their new credit card now, right? What if that's like tied into Apple Pay? And I'm an Apple guy, so someone else can talk about the solution for like Android. But for Apple, it's like I load everything into my Apple wallet. I put all my Bitcoin in there, on my Ethereum, on my fiat, everything, and my credit cards. And if I go to a point of purchase at a transaction, I do my Apple Pay. Then it asks me, how do you want this? Which account do you want this to come out of? I think that would be the best solution for all of us. If let me put it all into one account and then spend it as I want.
Yeah, you're kind of talking about like a unified wallet concept, which is really cool because I interviewed Kyle Kemper, who wrote a book titled The Unified Wallet. So if you haven't read it, highly recommend it because you're on to something there. And I'm totally in agreement with you. I just think that that's a long way out from today. I think that there's so many middlemen solutions that the institutional companies don't really have to bother with it, right? It's not something that's on their plate because there's plenty of companies that, I mean, literally named 5 of them today that will accept Bitcoin for gift cards, right? So that's what I mean. It's not really like Starbucks isn't stressed to do it. Somebody's going to help them accept Bitcoin in one form or another. And I think that until their employees want to get paid in it, they're not going to get pressured to accept it. Or their suppliers don't offer a discount. I think supply chain is the killer app for cryptocurrencies, and nobody cares. It's so boring that nobody wants to talk about supply chain. But
I mean, if you're not,
supply chain meets blockchain, match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
If you're not an enterprise company, then you don't care. Like for the average person, you don't care about supply chain. Now, maybe if it's like you care about where your orange came from, like you want your orange to come to Florida or come from Florida, then you might be interested if you're super into organic stuff or whatever. I mean, look at me and JChains, we're not, but if you're into super
I eat a lot of organic stuff. I just eat a lot of it.
I hear you. But if you're into like super organic stuff and like, not want your stuff sprayed with pesticides, then supply chain's good. Outside of that, the only people that care are enterprise, because it's helping them. It's not helping.
Well, it's also insurance too. Where did the supply go wrong? What happened along the chain? Whose fault is it when and where? And I think when we have the supply chain, blockchain, evolution, the Internet of Things will finally have a place to reside where the garbage in, garbage out is very minimal because the human element will be taken as far away from it as possible to where now we can trust the thermostat of the truck that was transferring the meat to not have been tampered with, or if it was, there's some sort of, tamper system on it that, so we know, hey, the meat went bad because the truck driver didn't have the freezer on for 20 miles and the meat went under proper temperature. So it's not the butcher's fault and it's not the supermarket's fault. We know exactly where the fault lies. And that right there, just that frictionless solution to where, what, when, and how, that's where, like, how much money did you just save a company on that problem just trying to figure it out? They just have to figure out how to implement it now because they're so comfortable with their rubbish and throwaway and their insurance money that they have actually accounted a lot of loss in for this. Like so many businesses.
It goes into the price of the food that you're buying.
Right, exactly. So many businesses have just accounted for losses in the business that it's just a part of business to lose money. So they're like, I don't even know how to stop losing money. It's just part of business at this point.
Well, I mean, when I was
profit and your loss.
When I was a kid, I worked at a grocery store and, they were explaining to us like how much of the price is actually jacked up by people stealing stuff. And, you know,
well, not just that, Visa and American Express charge 3 to 5% per transaction. You don't think the store from a local merchant's charging you 3 to 5% more per transaction or more to balance out just the ability to accept your money?
Well, you know, this brings up some interesting points here. This is nothing that we were going to talk about before we started, but this brings up some really interesting points with some conversations I've been having with some people online, which is, you know, we're moving to this world where, like, think about all of the steps between when, you know, yogurt gets made to sent to the store, right? You got all of these intermediaries that are taking a small cut of each, you know, yogurt pack. And over time, it really, really adds up, you know, and you know, the cost that goes into the food, it is, you know, determined by how many people are in the middle of that. Right. Now, imagine in the future where we have nobody in the middle. You know, it's basically like the yogurt gets made, sent to the store, everything's on blockchain. You don't have to have like quality control specialists and stuff like that because everything's perfect. Like we know exactly where it came from. It's all done by robots.
And you got automated trucks.
You invest in this technology, though, right there. It's such a good solution that it has everybody as an enemy. It's too disruptive. You're just talking about one issue of supply chain. We could do so much with this technology that every industry is an enemy to it because they have been able to make a profit off of the misfortunes of the technologies at hand today. So if we increase the quality of the technology that the companies use, these companies that have been parasites by you know, providing securities and all, like, no, they're just parasites. And now we're disrupting that with this blockchain technology thing that's really freaking them out. They don't know. It's like one of those things is like what blockchain isn't something that you can take to make better for yourself. You can just contribute to it to make it better for yourself. And that's the selflessness of blockchain. And these companies have not been built from the ground up to be selfless. Some of them are starting to segue into a very, you can see where they're going with this, but it's going to be real difficult for companies that exist today to keep thriving. The same way 100 years ago, it's hard to find a business that still makes, you know, cars and used to make wagons. Yeah. You know, how many wagons were made, and now how many of those wagon companies actually make Lambos? None of them.
None. Well, it's interesting because this brings up like such a, like, the way the future is going to look in 100 years is going to be so much different than today because we're going to have so much AI and robotics doing work for us that, like, I can actually imagine a future to where your value and how you earn money is actually through video games.
Oh, 100%.
I kid you not. That's it. That's the future.
What is it right now? They call this the industrial era, right? We're like, this is like the industrial era where people like work, line work, and, you know, cashiers and all that. But we're headed to the attention economy era where there's either people that create content and produce, or there's people that consume content and curate. And either way, you're going to, like, I don't, and this is, you know, quote me on this, at me, timestamp this, a year, 2 years from now, you're not going to have to pay for Netflix. Why? Because Netflix is going to pay you. They are desperately going to want your attention. Why? Because Disney just came out with their own app, and Hulu has a lot of Marvel stuff. And then we have this one and this one. And why are Netflix getting advertisement revenue if nobody's watching Netflix? Well, they're just going to charge advertisers more, give it to you for free, or pay you some to incentivize. So we're going to see like a lot of incentivized economy where it's based on attention, because like, what is the unemployment rate right now? It is ridiculous. And everybody running for president, you know,
well, we actually have more jobs than people unemployed right now.
Right. But basic human income kind of thing, or whatever they want to call it. I don't know what it is.
Universal basic income.
That one, you know, that only kind of is sustainable with an attention economy. Otherwise, it is not sustainable.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy where the future is going. Like, I had this conversation with somebody online, and they were like, oh yeah, well, you know, when 90% of the jobs are taken by AI and robotics and stuff, like, how's anybody going to earn any money? And I'm like, it's a totally different economy because we're still going to share value between each other. we're just going to have to come up with totally different ways to do it.
Why do people think they need money or need a job is beyond me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense that people are like, oh, you need to have a job. You don't have a job? You really should get a job. You need a job. I need a job. When I grew up, I want a job. Really? Because that sounds awful.
Did you say fun? That sounds fun.
That sounds really awful is what I said, okay? No, but seriously, like there's people that even brag about it. Like, oh, I work 50 hours a week, 4 days a week, and then I work on the weekends at a second job. And I'm like, that is not something to brag about. You are a very content slave to the system. And I think that when we can get past the mentality of employment and jobs and money and all this crazy stuff that we just made up that doesn't exist without us agreeing that it exists, then we're all going to be in this like imaginary fence and just look like silly sheep staring at a gate with no border, but we're still held in by our own will.
Dang,
What's it?
That's heavy.
That is heavy. It reminds me of that, the elephant thing. You tie an elephant, how they train elephants. I think this is true. Maybe it's an urban legend. I don't know. But they tie in India an elephant's leg to a block, and it walks around for about the first year of its life, and it can only go in that diameter, and then they take the chain off, and the elephant still will never go outside of that circle that it was originally allowed to go in. And I agree with you on that. For the most part, like somebody said something on Twitter. I think it was Bella a while back, probably a year ago. I didn't even remember how long it was. And it was about jobs. And I responded, I was like, yeah, I haven't had I did have a real job for about 3 years, but it was only voluntary. It's because there's a nonprofit that I was very passionate about. And so, I was very passionate about going and doing it, and I was in charge. So it wasn't like I was working for somebody else. And, I made a comment to that regard, like, God, I'll never have another regular job again. I won't. I promise you, I will never have another regular job again. And somebody came back and was like, oh, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, you can get money. You can get this money. If you want to get money, you can get money. You can find ways to get money without having to have a regular job and work for somebody.
They're spending 40 to 50 hours a week getting money for somebody else. They don't have the hours to figure out how to get more money for themselves than they are for somebody else.
That's true. And that's how it keeps people locked in. You do have some people, and I always go back to this, like college is good for some people. If you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a counselor, like you kind of need those degrees. You can't go be a nurse without having that degree. You need that education. I don't want somebody working on my body.
But a lot of people are going to get, if you get D's and F's along the way, figuring out, you're going to have a lot of sick people along your way. But
yeah,
I know what you mean. I also don't believe too much in institutional diplomacy either. There's so many doctors that got diplomas with D's, and the same doctors that got A's got the same shiny diploma. And it doesn't matter which one got the better grades. At the end of the day, you're still going to not have enough money to pay for your insurance. So,
have you heard about the movement that people are calling for to kind of like flip the way we live our lives, right? So you work, you grow up, you go to school, and then you go through your life and you work, and then you usually get, by the time people retire, it says, whatever age it is, and the time you die, I think that average is 11 years, right? So people are saying, let's flip the script here. When you get into your 20s, that's your retired time. And then when you get into your 30s, that's when you start your career and you start working. Then you just work till you die. And you get to enjoy your 20s. You don't have, that's like, that's kind of.
Hear me out, man. I dropped out of high school and enjoyed life as soon as I found out that I could. I got emancipated when I was 14 years old. So I was legally an adult when I was 14. I could sign myself out of school when I wanted to freshman year, and I could sign myself back in. When I got suspended in sophomore year, they had nobody to call because I was my own guardian. So it was really cool, like to see where I was headed with all that. But I just got a memo on the screen. Sorry that my tournament started.
The tournament started.
It distracted the crap out of me. I'm sorry.
Well, I would call your parents, but unfortunately, you answer for yourself. So I'm not going to tell them that you spaced out on us, and we're going to give you a C- for behavior on your report card right now. So, well, I guess that we've had very interesting conversation here, but I think this brings us pretty much to the end of the show. What do you think, JChains?
I think it's a good time to let this guy get to his tournament.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys.
No, brother, it's totally cool.
We want you to win. So everybody, thank you so much to Kenn for joining us. Kenn, you want to tell us everybody where they can find you out real quick?
Yeah, Steam Monsters and My Ethereum. I'm playing my tournaments right now. But KennBosak.com, KENN, Bosak, BOSAK.com. I bought that domain in 2016 because, I don't know, I just did. And you should visit it because I put stuff on it.
That's smart.
And Twitter with KennETH Bosak, which is really funny because my name's Kenneth. And I just capitalized the last 3 letters of my name, so it's KennETH Bosak. Yeah, you saw his face, like, yeah, that was it. It was that easy. I was born for this. So, yeah, definitely find me on where I'm actually at the most active. If anybody wants to reach out and just have a conversation, I actually spend a lot of time in mythereum.io Discord. So if you want to talk about blockchain games or whatever, or using crypto on a daily basis and how I live on crypto or how I could help, whatever, if you need any help, like, just reach out. I'm here. I'm Bitcoin tech support for free. Like, this is why I'm here. I live to help people on ramp. So if you have
the nicest guys in crypto,
you unplug the blockchain and plug it in again and get you on your way.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thanks, awesome, man. Guys. All right. Thanks a lot, Kenn, for joining us. You guys make sure to go check out his website, KennBosak.com, and we will talk to you guys later.
Much appreciated.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for listening to Beards and Bitcoins. If you like what you heard, show these guys some love and rate review on SoundCloud or iTunes. Also, remember you can always find the guys on social media. The show Twitter page is @BeardsBitcoins. You'll find direct links to BitBoy and JChains from there. Make sure you check for updates, announcements, and contests. Good luck to all who enter. See you next time.